Warning: the video you are about to watch is part 2 of a 2-part series. If you have not seen part 1, this is a quick review of what you missed.
I like money!
For example, if you're a monkey, smoke too much? Don't be a sad lobster.
It's easy to think that because then you only have to think one thing. You could get a one-thing answer for everything.
Honestly, I don't know who the fuck to trust. Is he my friend or my foe?
This rule is about pursuing meaningful endeavors as opposed to instantly gratifying pursuits. This chapter makes us question ourselves and makes us realize that within all of us is the capacity to be atrociously evil. It even allows us to consider that we might actually enjoy it. Have you ever wondered how and why soldiers in Nazi Germany, who at that point in time were normal people with families, could commit such horrific acts like murdering children? Jordan thinks that within all of us is the capacity for evil, and that the way to keep that at bay is to strive for a life that's filled with meaning. Suffering is the price we pay for life, and any ambition that works towards the betterment of life and the reduction of unnecessary suffering is a meaningful pursuit. When you pursue meaning rather than trivial pleasure, suffering won't necessarily go away, but it may reduce and become somewhat bearable. And bearable suffering is far better for humanity than the alternative. People often act out of character in their daily life. They say things they don't mean to sound smarter and gain respect, or to be liked and avoid conflict. They have so many little lies that their whole life ends up just being one big fabrication. Jordan wants us to try to avoid this and instead try telling the truth. Say what you mean and say what you feel. Maybe you cause a problem right now, but maybe you solve a future problem that may have been way worse. It's Jordan's belief that lies brought upon the horrors of the 20th century. So when you find yourself at a crossroads, when life sucks, when you're unsure what to do, try telling the truth to yourself and to other people. Listening is something that we all think we do, and it seems quite simple, but it's far more difficult than we suspect. I mean, I can easily think of one example where someone was speaking and the information was just going through one person's ear and out the other. Anyway, this rule encourages us to learn as much as we possibly can from other people, even if their views are different to ours. Rather than just being someone who's waiting for their turn to speak, can you actively listen and try to learn something from what the other person's telling you? You need to ask yourself, do you want to be right? Or do you want to learn something? Jordan thinks that that's a big problem in today's society, where being the loudest in the room is rewarded, and people would much rather win an argument than try to listen to what someone's saying and understand their perspective. You know when you're pissed off with your mum and you bring up that one time she got overly drunk at your 21st and almost ruined the whole thing? Yeah, don't do that. When arguing with people, focus on the problem at hand. Don't go bringing up things from the past that are unnecessary and not related to what you're actually dealing with. If you do this, all you're going to be doing is making the situation worse. Being precise in your speech saves you a lot of trouble in your life. It helps you be truthful, and it also helps put your arguments and views out on the table in a concise and easy manner for everyone to understand. When you speak with precision, you increase the chances of actually dealing with the problem that you're facing and not making situations worse. Kids do pretty crazy stuff, and this is important. Now, this doesn't mean that kids should just go around doing the most dangerous things imaginable, but what it does mean is that kids should test their limits. Kids need to try things out, experience failure, and, maybe break an arm or a leg. Parents should obviously be responsible and not encourage their kids to overdo it, but to some degree, parents should allow their kids to experience the real world. And sometimes that means letting your kids get hurt. Jordan feels that you should never smother your child to the point that they never experience failure or consequences. You don't want to be that Karen that complains to the school that the teachers are being too harsh on her precious child. You have to learn to let go, and your child will be far more capable at dealing with life when you do. We currently live in the most prosperous society to ever exist. And this chapter encourages us to appreciate the small things. Despite your problems and your worries and fears, every once in a while, just remember how lucky you are. Be grateful for how fortunate you are to have existed in the time that you have. Enjoy your family, your pets, nature. Enjoy playing in water and chatting with your friends. Life may be suffering, but maybe these things make it worth it. Cherish them. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed part 1 and part 2. This book's pretty interesting and it's complex in some areas, so I highly recommend that you guys get a copy and read it. As I always say, it's really important that you guys draw your own conclusions from these books because the way you guys interpret them might be completely different to the way I do. And again, as always, whenever you're reading something, please read it critically, but also with an open mind. Anyway, grab this book guys, see what you make of it, and thanks again for watching. Cheers.